Did you know that 50% of women in the UK experience anxiety during the menopause? And many don't even realise that it's connected to hormonal changes. One form of anxiety that often gets overlooked is social anxiety. It can quietly chip away at confidence, leaving women who once felt self-assured suddenly overwhelmed by fear, self-doubt, and discomfort in everyday social situations. And the effect of this anxiety can ripple through every part of life, from your career to your friendships, even your closest relationships. So let's talk about it. Social anxiety can make you feel so different, from being confident and outgoing. You can suddenly retreat, you can avoid social situations, you can dread going into work, and you can make excuses for absolutely anything just to stay at home. And even simple things like navigating local roads, going into the supermarkets, dealing with crowded streets can feel overwhelming. So does that sound familiar? If so, you are not alone. This can be caused by what we call social anxiety. It is real. This is something that is happening. It's not all in your head. You are not going crazy. So we're going to have a little look at this one today. So let's sort of break it down. What does social anxiety mean, and what does it entail, and what are the symptoms? So it means that you can get really anxious, um, just in general social situations. You might find that you don't like getting up and speaking in front of people at work. You don't like meeting new people. And even things like eating, you don't want to go into restaurants because you know other people might be watching you. It can be physical symptoms, so it can be things like you're talking to somebody and suddenly you blush. You haven't blushed since you were a teenager, and here you are blushing at somebody just speaking to you on a sort of day-to-day basis. You might find that you start to sweat the minute you know you're going into that particular office at work, and maybe you've got to talk to your boss. You start sweating. You might find that you get palpitations, trembling, even nausea. And you might find that it's really difficult to speak. Before you might have been quite eloquent at speaking and have no difficulty expressing yourself, and now you can't even string two words together. It might be avoiding things. So you're avoiding speaking to people. You don't want to meet up with your friends anymore. You definitely don't want to talk to anybody in authority at all. And you might feel that you're on display. You might think that people are watching you and they're actually judging you as well, which can be really, really horrible. Can also be cognitive symptoms. So you might find that you're overplaying things. Somebody said something to you today and you're going over and over it in your mind. You're picking every single little nuance of speech that somebody has said. And very often you can end up with completely the wrong interpretation as well, which obviously then puts you into a state of anxiety, and stress too. So why on earth does this happen? So this is real. It's the chemical changes that go on in your brain that are brought about all the hormonal changes. So there's certain brain chemicals called serotonin, and there's another one called GABA, and these regulate and stabilize your mood. They keep you calm. But unfortunately, when estrogen falls, the control of these chemicals becomes sort of erratic. And this is one of these situations which, you can change on a daily basis. One day you can feel up, fine and confident, and the next day you just feel that something has pulled the plug on absolutely everything. Also, we know, and I've spoken about this just recently, about how cortisol, which is a stress hormone, again, it's related to possible decrease of estrogen. Your cortisol levels go up. That creates more anxiety and stress. and it can put you in that flight or fight situation, which basically means any situation you can end up feeling fearful about, whereas before you wouldn't even have given it a second thought. Other symptoms can be things like brain fog. You can just feel as if you're on another planet somewhere, basically, and you might find that your self-identity goes and your confidence is just completely disappeared. It can also be due to midlife changes as well. So everything happens at once for us. We get to midlife, our hormones change, our children leave home, so we've got empty nest syndrome. Suddenly you're facing a partner that maybe you've been too busy to spend time with, so you've got to redefine your relationship. You may find there's career shifts going on. It may well be you've got to start caring for elderly parents, or your children may well be asking you to look after the grandchildren. So suddenly you're being pulled in all these different directions, and all you want is just total peace and quiet. So you can become full of self-doubt, and you basically just want to withdraw from day-to-day life. Problem here is that so many women don't realize that this is hormone related. So it can be a very misunderstood sort of scenario or phase here. Doctors very often don't pick up on it. You're told, and it really upsets me so much how many of you, you go and see your doctor, you go and see your boss, you talk to your partner, and they just tell you, don't be silly, it's all in your head, you'll snap out of it. And we can't, because it's not something that we control. Our hormones are basically driving this. So it's really important to talk about it if you can, explain to your partner. Hopefully you'll be working somewhere where they have a nice support for perimen and menopausal women. Set up your own self-help group. We do this here, and it's great. Everybody gets together on a monthly basis, and we just chat about things, and it's amazing what comes up. That maybe somebody just thought that this was something that just happened to them, and then we're all going, yeah, we understand. So self-help groups are absolutely fabulous for this. Try and control your stress levels, and I know that's a really difficult one. Things obviously like yoga, deep breathing, relaxation, meditation, just have that me time, and learn to calm down that little bit more. You can look at herbal helpers. Herbs like passion flower and lemon balm can be really calming. We have a really handy spray that you can carry with you in your pocket or your bag and take just when you need it. Remember the magnesium, great for absolutely everything. Remember the water, because dehydration will make any kind of emotional anxiety a lot worse as well. The other thing that's really important here is just remember, as I mentioned at the beginning, this is not in your head. You are not going mad. There are real reasons for this. Remember that this is usually a phase. It does end. As our hormone balance changes, we can find that symptoms ease, and we can step out of this particular situation. If, however, you find that every single day is getting harder and harder and you really can't cope, please do speak to your doctor. There's lots of things that can be done. They may well refer you for CBT or some kind of talking therapy. It may well be that you need just a little bit of short-term medication to help you over the hurdle. Please don't suffer in silence with this one. It's a horrible one, but there's lots of help out there. So I hope you found this one helpful. Have any of you been in this situation? How did it affect you? What did you do to help yourself? Remember to share your stories. I love to read them, and your comment or your little tip could help someone else. Have a lovely week, and I'll see you soon.